Hi everyone, Jamie here, thanks for watching today. In this video I'll be showing you how to make a fan, or is also known as a vase style card. The products that I'm using in today's video is the chunky alphabet die set from Made to Surprise, and I'm going to be using the 60. I also have the flowers here from the Gable box die set from Simply Made Crafts. The foliage from the hexagon clutch box die set by Simply Made Crafts. You'll also want some double-sided pattern paper and some plain cardstock. To make this card you'll need two pieces of 9.5 by 11.5. I've chosen plain orange cardstock which coordinates well with this pattern paper. It's double-sided. If you're using a directional pattern paper, be mindful when trimming to 11.5 by 9.5. So I have my pattern facing upwards and I trimmed it down as so. So the first thing that you want to do is grab a ruler and pencil. I have my bottom edge here, which is the 11.5 side. I've come up 3 inches from the bottom and made a marker. Then I've drawn a straight line from the top left hand corner down to the 3-inch marker point and drew my line. Then you also need to do the same on your pattern paper. So you can use your trimmer if you like, a pair of scissors, your ruler and a craft knife, but I'm just going to use scissors and I'm going to cut along the line that we've drawn. I'm going to do the same with a second piece, however I flipped it over and drew on the opposite side because I don't think I would have seen the pencil mark on that pattern paper. So we now have our two pieces. So the next thing you want to do is take out your scoreboard and with your plain pattern paper you want to score it every 1/2 inch. So I've scored it every 1/2 inch. I'm going to flip it over and I have my shortest side here that measures to the 3-inch mark. So I'm going to score at 1.5 down to the 2.5 inch marker here. Like so. So you want to pinch this line in both directions. So I'm just going to concertina fold my piece of card, and you want to start off with a valley fold. So you'll then end up with a piece that looks like this. Next, I'm going to run a piece of red tape up to this first score line here, only on this first section. So I've chosen to use red tape, but you can use liquid glue if you like. I just found that because of the pressure that's going to be on the cardstock, you want something with an instant stick. So you're going to fold it over like so, and then attach these two pieces together. There we go. Then you have something that looks like this. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it over so it's facing the back. I'm going to take some quick grab glue and I want to follow this point here all along. So I'm going to take a peg and place it over my cardstock so it holds it nicely in place, because there'll be a lot of pressure on this, so you want to make sure you've got time to set it aside and let it dry fully, or it won't grab. So I'm going to set that to one side and work on the rest of my card. Next, you'll need to create a circular base for your card. So I've used a nesting die and I've cut this 4 times out of the little cardstock and attached it together using collal. I also have my hot glue gun preheating to the side of me. I'm going to take my pattern paper and I'm going to start to shape it. So what we're going to do is wrap the card around our circular base so that it forms a shape like so. So I'm going to start with my shortest edge and I'm going to just put a small blob there just to start the circle off. So I want to make sure that's exactly where I want it. So I want the bottom of my circle to line up with the edge of my card. And it's important that it's straight because this will obviously form our base and it needs to be able to stand up. Okay. If you've got anything overlapping, so say you've got a bit of glue hanging off the edge, we can cut that away at the end. So all I'm doing is adding a small amount of glue at a time, and I'm rolling my circle along the edge of the card. And then hold it in place until it dries. So I've made my way about to the halfway point. Before I close everything up, I want to attach my fan piece to the back of this. So I want this tab on the correct side of the pattern paper. So as it closes, that's how you'll see it from the front. And then the fan piece will sit behind here, like so. So I've got my tab here and I'm going to add some glue to the top of it. I'm using the quick grab glue. You could also use red tape at this point, but you want to make sure that you line everything up. This is why I'm using the quick grab, because it gives you a bit of wiggle time. So as you line it up, you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom so it just allows as it's standing up, because this sort of curls around. And the reason you want to leave that gap is as this closes, it'll come down slightly, so you don't want to line it up exactly, otherwise it won't stand up correctly. It'll be wonky donkey. I'm just going to trim off this little bit here that you'll see from the front. Some of my tabs have come away because I didn't leave it for enough time. So I'll add some hot glue to that shortly. I'm going to pop you on high speed now and I'm going to finish gluing along this edge here. So the same process, add a bit of glue, roll the circle around, make sure you're flush to the bottom, and make your way along. So as I'm reaching the last bit, I want to add glue along here, but also along this edge, so that falls flush there. So then you'll end up with something that looks like this. As I said, the glue has come away from the back there. So I'm just going to add some hot glue now. On the back, and add that pressure to get the desired shape. There we go. So it is sort of curling back, but what we're going to do to close that gap, we're going to add some glue along here to attach there, and then some glue in here, and it'll all straighten up. You want to use a small amount for this because you don't want it sort of seeping out, but all of that does get covered, so don't worry if you do. So I'm putting my hand inside to add that pressure, and you need to hold it in place until the glue dries. So it did take a little bit of patience and some time to get that to form its shape, but once it's held, it'll stay there then. So I have got a little bit of glue oozing out here, but that's okay because it's all going to be covered, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So I'm just going to bring in the items that I prepared off camera. So I die cut another circle which measures approximately 2 5/8. I then have a 60, so I've die cut it once in gold cardstock and a second time then in foam, and that's going to sit on my circle as so. I've then die cut a number of flowers ranging in different colours and sizes, and some gold leaf foliage. So I'm going to get my 60 stuck down to my circle first, and I make sure that's all in the centre as I'd like it. I'm then going to add my circle to the front of my card. So I'm going to attach a little bit of glue on this side, and then it'll hold together like so. So I just brought something in just to hold it in place so it doesn't roll over. And then I'm going to start to decorate the rest using the flowers here. So as usual, I'm just doing a little bit of a dry run. So I'm going to place my flowers sort of in a semicircle around the 60. So I like to start off with the flower placement first, and then I add the foliage in behind that. So this is my take on a fan or vase card. I'll just bring it a little closer to the camera so you can see it, all the detail. I've added a flower here on the back just to hide that glue. You could add a white piece of card here to add your message, but I think I'm going to add mine on the bottom. So I'm going to cut a smallish circle in white card and place it on the bottom, and that's where I'll write my message. So I'll pop a picture in at the end so you can see it. But I also want to bring in this. So I've done exactly the same. In hindsight, I'd want to cut a larger piece of card there so that it covers the bottom of the bottle. But I've done exactly the same. So instead of using the hot glue to wrap it around the orange base, I've just added glue along the shorter edge and a little bit of glue along this edge, double-sided tape I should say, along this edge, and wrapped it around the bottle and closed the seal, and just added some flowers then for some extra detail. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, give me a thumbs up, a comment, or you may consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. All the products that I've used will be listed below. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye!